I thank you so much for this invitation and for your warm welcome. And I have to admit to you that we know each other many years back when I served as President of the European Committee of Regions, and I always remember Anton's passion for Tirol. It struck me that every time I saw him, his only duty, his only worry was to discuss about the problems of Tirol. And I really believe that you are very lucky to have such a governor, and I can say for sure that Tirol is in good hands, Anton. Thank you very much for your invitation today. Federal Minister and Ministers, State Secretary, my good friend Sofia, our member of the European Parliament, who also works heavy in the European Parliament for Tirol, and she's a very proud Tirolian, let me tell you. Deputy Governor of Salzburg, ladies and gentlemen, it is for me a great pleasure to be here again with you and to be reminded why the Alpine region is such a popular tourist destination for visitors from across Europe, but not only. And I remember 4 years ago when I visited Innsbruck, and I had the time to see in person the beauty of this place, the amazing characteristics of Tirol, the great people of Tirol, and the hospitality that you have. Characteristics that make you unique. Alongside the amazing scenery here in Tirol, you are a major cultural and urban center at the heart of Europe. You attract over than 10 million visitors every year. And personally, I have always believed that tourism is a true force for good. It allows regions and cities from Innsbruck to the Ionian Islands in my country and from Verona to Vilnius to promote their culture and their history. It helps Europeans to understand each other better. And it is how we tell our story to the world. The economic benefits are undeniable too. In 2024, tourism generated over 800 billion in gross value added all across the European Union. 800 billion. Supporting more than 20 million jobs. And we don't want to change that. On the contrary, we want Europe to gain even more from tourism, both economically and socially. But we do need to do things better, wisely, just as your governor said. Here in Tirol, you know better than anyone how the arrival of thousands of tourists by car each day affects local life. Congestion, noise and air pollution are compounded by the transit of heavy goods vehicles. More than 14 million vehicles cross the Brenner Pass each year. Nearly 12 million are passenger cars, and many of those are carrying, of course, tourists. This is why tomorrow it is such an important day. And I'm very proud and very much looking forward to pressing tomorrow the button that unites the two sides of the Brenner base tunnel, because this will be, my friends, a milestone, a triumph of European engineering, of cross-border cooperation, and of sustainable mobility in Europe, the Brenner-based tunnel is what Europe is about. But equally importantly, for all of you, the people of Tirol, we are a step closer in bringing quieter, calmer roads. For tourism, the Brenner-based tunnel and its access routes will also open new doors, reducing travel time by train between Munich and Verona from 5 hours just to 2.5, including stops in major cities such as Innsbruck, Bolzano, and Trento, will make rail transport much more attractive for passengers. The EU regulation on the Trans-European Transport Network, the TEN-T, also foresees direct connections between major airports and the long-distance railway network. So in the future, passengers arriving at Munich Airport will be able to take a direct train to Tirol, South Tirol, Trento, or somewhere further along this very important line. Once they step off the train, it must be easy for passengers to switch to local public transport, and this is why combined tickets like those offered in South Tyrol and Salzburg, allowing tourists to see free public transport during their stay, are also an important part of the solution. And I know that here in Tyrol you have worked a lot for mobility, and I congratulate you for that. But the Brenner-based tunnel, ladies and gentlemen, will also make other less visited destinations more accessible. And this is very important, because it will relieve pressure on the regions and cities that sometimes struggle with visitor numbers, while spreading the benefits of tourism more wisely in other regions as well. And this exactly is the essence of sustainability in tourism, making growth compatible with local communities and ecosystems. And here in Tyrol, you know better than most the impact of climate change on snow and how that affects the winter season. Ladies and gentlemen, in the first half of 2026, I will present an ambitious, the first ever European strategy for sustainable tourism. It will be the first ever European strategy for tourism. While tourism is primarily a member state responsibility, the EU can help address shared challenges such as unbalanced tourism or labor shortages. On unbalanced tourism, I encourage you to plan ahead, to build strategies based on solid data, and to improve the local community. Destination management organizations can and will play a crucial role in forecasting visitor flows, distributing tourism more evenly, and extending, of course, the travel season, which is something I know you have been working a lot for today here. AI-driven tools could make their work even more effective, the destination management organization work. The fact that you are not dependent on a particular season to attract visitors already puts you in a strong position, because Tirol is a 12-month, all-year destination. And we're also developing a tourism data space to provide to you reliable, compatible data for informed decision-making and to know how to better manage flows. My dear friends, the period where destinations only held organizations to promote the destination are over. Now we need management organizations. Organizations that will manage the flows of tourism. Because if we don't do something quickly, we are at great risk. The risk in some areas in Europe where we have over-tourism some months of the year, to see the citizens turn their back on tourism. And this should not happen. And of course, at the same time, we need to further strengthen Europe's brand as a unique, diverse, and high-quality destination. You know very well, Europe might be the second smallest continent in the world, but in tourism, we are a superpower. We are the first #1 visited continent in the world. And we will continue that and boost it even more. The targeted consultation that I held with stakeholders on the strategy for tourism is now closed. But the public consultation is still open for a few more weeks. So I strongly encourage you to contribute if you haven't done so already, because we need your input. And in the strategy for tourism that we are now designing, I want your input in order to make it a success. Because if we want European or national policies to be a success, we need to design them and implement them with the people who are involved. This is the only way to success. Top-down approaches, in my view, are a failure. So please contribute and get involved in what will be the first ever European strategy for tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, today is not a day to discuss transport. I'm sure we will have the opportunity tomorrow to do this with the governor. But I really want you to know that for me it is a great honor to represent the region of Tirol on the global tourism stage. Because your region embodies both the challenges and the opportunities of European tourism. That's why I want to work together with you closely, to make your mountains, your villages, your ski slopes, your hiking trails, not only more attractive for tourists, but also more livable for the Tyroleans. That is what sustainable tourism is all about. And that's exactly what we will be working together in the coming years. Thank you very much. Thank you.